Welcome to Coach Bennett's podcast, where every run has a purpose, where kindness is hardcore, where this is about running, and this is not about running, where every starting line is a finish line in disguise, where rambling still gets you where you need to be, where pineapple will never ruin your pizza, and the sodas, adult and not adult kind, are always cold, and where there is room on the starting line for everybody. I'm Coach Bennett. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day. Let's get started. Welcome to episode 64 of Coach Bennett's podcast. This one is entitled Hope, and I think at the end of the last episode I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have tales or lessons or learnings from Mount Olympus. I forget what I actually said, but it was going to be about the Olympics. But you know what? I think we're going to give it just another week, because I was inspired to do an episode on hope. Now, it makes sense considering the previous two episodes were one-word titles. Patience and Confidence were episodes 63 and 62. And I was inspired, what can I say, to do one on hope, which I think is also one of the essential ingredients to success in running. And yes, this episode is about running and it's not about running. But before we get into the episode, hope, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with me, right? I know some people are thinking, no, we don't need to do that, but we're doing it anyway. I'm in New Jersey right now. I'm back home visiting. I'm also back home moving some kids into college. And I'm also back home running on the boardwalks and the trails of this glorious state, the land of milk and honey, the promised land, the Garden State, New Jersey. That's right. And I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll share a little bit about how my running's going, and then I'll give you a couple tips from my running over the last week. Okay, so one of the places I love to run is the boardwalk. New Jersey has great boardwalks. I would say the best boardwalks. You may disagree. That's fine. I'm going to say Jersey's got the best boardwalks. Now, one of the cool things that some boardwalks have in New Jersey are showers. That's right. They've got some showers. They've got some low ones that you can use so you can get the sand off your feet. And then they've got some normal height ones that you can use to get your sand off your entire body. These showers are what you would use before you get into your car, you get onto a bike and you head home just to get the sand off you. Now, that's awesome, and it's huge. And when I am coming off the beach, I love the fact that there's access to these showers so I can get the sand off me before I get in the car or on the bike, like I said. But on a run, they're even better, especially in the summer, because what they allow you to do is get some water on you and in you over the course of the run. Now, I know there are people out there that when they go for a run, they're like, I never stop. I run in place at the light, all this stuff. I get it. If I have to go to the bathroom, I don't worry about it, or something even worse. Me, no, that's not how I operate. Like, the point of the run is not to make the run harder than it needs to be. So what I do is when I'm going for a run on a boardwalk, I will, depending on the heat, obviously if it's really hot, I'll stop more than this. But it's been pretty nice, okay? It's been warm, but not hot. What I'll do is I will plan in my head really stopping to get some water maybe every 15 minutes. And I stop for, I would say, 15 seconds, because really all I do is I punch the button, the water comes out, I get it all over my head, I get it on my back, I make sure it's in my hat, back of my wrists, back of my knees, and then I'm running again. And I'll tell you what, I feel great. I feel refreshed. I feel so good after hitting the showers for 15 seconds, which, by the way, if I was crossing a road and I had to wait for the walk sign to come, I'm probably waiting 15 seconds anyway. The difference is when I do this, when I hit the shower, the next 10 minutes of my run are fantastic. And then 5 minutes after that, guess what? There's another shower. I repeat it, and I get a great run in. I'm cooling myself off. It's a little bit of a mental break, and the quality of my running as a result of these breaks is much higher than the quality of my running if I had not taken those breaks. So if you're ever on a boardwalk and there are showers, take advantage of them. You can do the same thing with a sink at a bathroom or a water fountain, something like that. Take advantage of water on a hot day. I don't know why people think they have to be super hardcore when it's not really being hardcore, it's just being dumb, and make their running miserable. These showers, it's glorious. So that's shout out to the boardwalk actually in Spring Lake, New Jersey. They've got showers maybe like every quarter mile, half mile, something like that. It's fantastic. There's just 2 shower heads. It's not a big deal. It's just such a wonderful thing to have, to look forward to on a warm run or on a hot run. Because I'll tell you what, on a hot run, I wouldn't be waiting 10 minutes. There was one run I did, I think it was last summer, where it was really hot. Every 5-7 minutes, I was stopping, and I was taking 20, 30 seconds, really cooling off, and then I'd have another good 5 or 7 minutes. We're talking recovery runs. This isn't like a workout, but it makes the run better. It also is keeping the heat down, so I'm not overheating and not working too hard on what's supposed to be an easy run. So just look out for places where you can get water, especially during those warmer months. Now, another place I love to run is Homedale Park. I think Homedale Park's the nicest 5K cross-country loop in the country. I've been to a lot of places. I've seen a lot of good trails. I would say in terms of just 5K loop, the Homedale Park 5K loop is the best. We don't have to talk about it now. It doesn't have to be an argument. What I wanted to say is that I was at Homedale Park this morning, and I did some of the 5K loop, but then I went rogue, and I hit some of the trails. The trails are great. You're deep in the woods, a lot of switchbacks, uphills, downhills, little wooden bridges. It's a fantastic, fantastic place to run. If you ever find yourself in Monmouth County, make sure you hit Homedale Park. The course isn't easy. It isn't easy. I mean, you start at the bottom of basically a 600-meter long hill with kind of slightly uneven footing and some decent grass, so it's slower. But this leads me to what I'm talking about. I went for a run today. I had such a great run. I didn't feel terrific, but I had a great run. And one of the reasons why I had a great run was because I wasn't worried about any of the numbers on my watch or on the app. For a couple reasons. One, the course is tough, so it's not going to really tell me what it would normally tell me, like if I was running on the boardwalk. It's going to tell me a whole different set of numbers, and I'm going to have to do the math and figure out, okay, well, how hilly, how tough is it? What would it be on a flats? Which I could do, but I'm not going to do that. The other thing is I went on the trails. GPS has a hard time finding you on the trails. So I also knew my pace was going to be all screwed up the more I ran on these switchbacks and these trails. It's really hard to ask a GPS to give a legitimate pace to you as you're doing lots of switchbacks underneath really, really thick tree cover. I'm not going to ask GPS for that, so I don't ask at all. I don't care what it says my pace is. I don't care what it says how fast I ran. It doesn't matter. I went and had a really good recovery run. That's what I did. And if you're finding yourself on trails with very thick tree cover, lots of switchbacks, and the metrics don't seem to really match up with the effort you're giving, ignore the metrics. It doesn't matter. You still got the run in. You still put the effort in. You still get credit for the run. Those metrics aren't measuring what you really did because they can't. So, if you're on the trails, just run by effort, okay? That's all I'm telling you. And this isn't just for recovery runs. Run on effort if you're on trails, under tree cover, doing switchbacks where you know the metrics aren't going to match. Don't expect your phone and your app to be telling you exactly the right pace when you're trying to nail 5K pace or 10K pace. Do it by effort, and you'll nail the workout anyway. That's all I'm saying. So there's a couple lessons from New Jersey for you on my runs. Now, I want to talk about hope today, and I want to talk about hope. And I mean, I already alluded to it earlier because of what the last 2 episodes have been. Episode 62 was confidence. Episode 63 was patience. And the feedback from all of you has been wild. Okay, so thank you for listening to it. Thank you for sharing the podcast. Thank you for sharing it with the teams you're coaching or the teams you're on. I'm so happy that they have resonated with you, which led me to, you know what? There's a couple other things that I really need to talk about in the same vein as confidence and patience. And one of those is hope. Now, you might have heard me talking about it on a number of guided runs. You may have heard me talk about it when I speak live. It is one of those things that I truly do believe is essential. Absolutely essential. It's not like, well, actually, I think colored sprinkles, rainbow sprinkles, are essential for ice cream. I was going to say, it's not like putting sprinkles on ice cream, like the ice cream's still good. Me personally, I think the ice cream has to have sprinkles. I don't know about you, but I think sprinkles are an essential ingredient to ice cream. I'm the only one in my family that thinks that. I don't, Tammy, my wife, doesn't take sprinkles. My kids, none of them ask for sprinkles, which is bananas to me. How can you not want sprinkles on your ice cream? And especially if they're slightly like the crunchier kind. Are you kidding me? It's so good. Not to mention, it's like a party on top of a party. I mean, ice cream in and of itself is a party, but it's an even better party. It's more fun. Like the music's better. Like if it's got sprinkles. How do you not want sprinkles on your ice cream? So I'm not even going, well, I guess, yeah. Hope is like the sprinkles on the ice cream. What are you doing? You got to have it. And if you don't like sprinkles, then use something else because you have to have hope. All right, we're going to the dictionary. You ready? Great. I mean, I hope you're ready. I mean, why are you not ready? You're listening to this. You either have it on, a speaker or your headphones are in, so you should be ready for what I'm saying. I don't know why I asked if you're ready. Anyway, moving on. Okay, hope. It's a noun. The feeling that what is wanted can be had or that events will turn out for the best. Let's do that again. That's a good definition. Noun. The noun definition. The first definition for hope as a noun. The feeling that what is wanted can be had or that events will turn out for the best. Hope. Noun. That's a good one. I love that. The feeling that what is wanted can be had. You can make a case that, that's being optimistic, a little bit of confidence. And it doesn't say that what can be wanted can be had immediately. It just says that what is wanted can be had. Could be immediately, could be a week from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, could be at some distinct point in the future. And I love that second half of the sentence, or that events will turn out for the best. Or that events will turn out for the best. And you don't always know what that means. So I love that definition, but I'm a verb guy. You know that. I'm a verb guy, always have been. It's the action words. So let's go to hope, verb. Number 1, to look forward to with desire and reasonable confidence. Let's read that one again. Verb, to look forward to with desire and reasonable confidence. I love that. Hope, definition 1, verb, to look forward to with desire and reasonable confidence. They're not saying outright positive this is going to happen. No, a reasonable amount of confidence. Knowing what I know, I have a hope that this is going to turn out for the best. I'm going to look forward to with desire and reasonable confidence. That is the verb. Now, definition 2, verb. A little bit more straightforward. I kind of like it. Hope, verb definition 2. To believe, desire, or trust. I love that. To believe, desire, or trust. Let's talk a little bit about how this shows up in running. Okay, first and foremost, why do we run? Just ask yourself, why do you run? What are you doing? And if you think about it, hope is going to be in there. Hope is going to be in every single thing you say. You may say, I'm running because it makes me a better person. If you think about it, you run because you hope the run is going to help you become a better person, right? Or you run because you want to be more fit. You're running because you hope running will help you become fitter. Or maybe you have a set goal. I want to run a marathon. You're running because you hope the running you do is going to lead to you successfully completing a marathon. Hope is there all the time. So if you simply just ask, why do you run? Why are you starting this run? Why are you continuing this run? Hope is going to be present always. Always. I'll tell you what, it's like the main ingredient of a training plan. When I write a training plan, hope is everywhere. I mean, I'll tell you what, when I'm writing a training plan, the hope is that everything works out. That's the way I write it. I'm writing that first training plan in the hopes that everything works out, even though I know it's probably not going to work out exactly like it is in the training plan. But I have the hope that if I get this training plan correct, I can make adjustments to the training plan that will make sure the events turn out as best as they can. Back to that same definition. There's the hope that we're going to be able to run on these days. There's the hope that you're going to be able to stay healthy. There's the hope that you're going to progress the way that I think you're going to progress. There's the hope that you're going to make the jumps I believe you're going to make. And there's the hope that you're going to be there on race day capable of achieving what you want to achieve. Hope is everywhere in a training plan. And hope needs to be there when you make adjustments to the training plan, because your hope is these adjustments are the best possible changes to make considering your situation or your change in situation. Hope is everywhere in a training plan, and hope is a constant companion of every coach. And that's why it should be a constant companion of every runner. Now, if you also break it down into just the runs that we do and the adjustments we need to make within a run. So you start a run, it's going to be a 45-minute easy run. I'm making it up, who cares? It could be a 14-minute easy run. Doesn't matter. The point is, when you start that run, the hope is you can do the 45-minute run or the 14-minute run. Am I correct? It's the same thing as if you're heading out the door to run 4K or 14K. The hope is that you're going to be able to do it. And hopefully you've set up this run with, reasonable confidence that you can do it. If you've only been running 2K or 3K, you would not, with reasonable confidence, set up a 50K or 60K run, would you? No, you wouldn't. But if you've been consistently running 3 or 4K, maybe with reasonable confidence, you could set up a 4K, a 5K, or 6K long run, right? Of course you could. The hope is that you can do what you set out to do. From a coaching standpoint, you're also hoping that if need be, you're going to make adjustments that are then going to put you in position to experience the most success you can on this run. And by that, I don't mean guaranteeing that you get a medal at the end of a run or hurrah or a high five. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the hope from a coaching perspective is that we or you or us together can make the proper adjustments so you have the most beneficial run. Because the most beneficial run leads to the most progress, the most success, the most benefit, right? Of course. So there's that hope there too, that we're going to make the right decisions. If we can extend the run because we think that's the best idea, we hope we make the right choice. If we need to back off, we hope we've backed off enough. We hope that we've done the right run by you. There's always hope on every run. You should think about what you're hoping for on the starting line for your next run. Do it. It's a great exercise. The next time you start your run, before you press start, before you cross that starting line, ask yourself, what do I hope to get out of this run? What do I hope to accomplish on this run? What do I hope to do on this run? And see how that changes your mentality. See how it changes some of the decisions you make, the conversations you have with yourself over the course of the run. There's hope when it comes to racing, right? I mean, that seems like maybe the most obvious one. Like, I hope I can hit my time goal. I hope I can finish the distance. I hope I can finish the top 50, 100, 1,000 in my age group. I hope. And if you break down the definition of hope, as opposed to it being this idea that it's something way off in the distance that's almost unreachable, because I think sometimes we do a disservice to ourselves when we lose sight of what these words really mean, which is why I nerd out and I give you the dictionary, okay? I'll just be honest, because I think it's important for you to understand what these words really mean. But if you think about what hope on race day really means, go back to the noun and the verb definitions. You're on the starting line of the race. Hope is that feeling that what is wanted can be had, or that events will turn out for the best. Which means, another way to put it, is that it may not work out exactly the way you thought, but it still has the ability to turn out for the best. Think about that. That is a powerful thing to take with you on the starting line. It may not work out the way I think it's going to work out, but I hope that it turns out for the best. And you play a part in that. You play a part in how you define hope, right? And then the other definition, with you on the starting line, the verb definition. First one, to look forward to with desire and reasonable confidence. Think about it. You're looking out from the starting line. You're literally looking forward. So take that definition, to look forward, to look beyond the starting line, across the starting line, with desire and reasonable confidence. I love that. I love reasonable confidence. And then, second definition verb, you're on the starting line. You're hoping. What does that mean? To believe, desire, trust. Think about having that on the starting line. Belief, desire, trust. That's super powerful. And that's hope. That's why I say the starting line really should be called the hope line, because that's what it is. It is a starting line, but it is where you find the most hopeful people maybe in the world. Everyone there on the starting line with you is brimming with hope. They're brimming with the feeling that what is wanted can be had, or that events will turn out for the best. They are there looking forward with desire and reasonable confidence. They are there believing, desiring, and trusting. That's so powerful. That's why I love the vibe on a starting line. And that's why it's so intoxicating to be at a starting line, whether you're there on the starting line getting ready to run, or really whether you're there watching and supporting. Because I'll tell you what, hope is contagious. It is. Absolutely. It is contagious. When you're around people that have belief, and in many cases it's self-belief, it's belief in themselves, it's belief in the work that they've done, it's belief that what they want is possible, right? With reasonable confidence, they believe this is possible. They believe this is possible. They are there trusting the work they've done, trusting their effort, trusting their ability to go after what they want to go after, and that events will turn out for the best, even if the events don't turn out the way they had originally planned or hoped for. Because hope is malleable. Hope you can mold. Hope will adjust with you. So from a coaching standpoint, it's one of those things that I think is so important to instill in athletes. And from an athlete's point of view, it's something you need to make sure you're bringing with you to the starting line. And a simple exercise, like I said, and by the way, let me just pause here for a second. The starting line of practice, the starting line of your run, the starting line of your day, the starting line of what's next. You want to be bringing hope with you. And it's that powerful exercise of asking yourself on the starting line, which doesn't need to lead to a run. It could lead to a new class you're taking, a new relationship, but ask yourself, okay, what do I hope to get out of this? What do I hope happens? What do I hope happens? And if you need to break it down into that definition. You know, what are you looking forward to with desire and reasonable confidence here? You know, what are you willing to work for? What do you hope to be able to work for? It's a really great exercise, and it's something to remind yourself it's an essential ingredient. When you marry things like hope with confidence and with patience, you find you suddenly have superpowers on the starting line. You have superpowers on the other side of that starting line. And like I said, it is contagious. This is something that if you have a hopeful teammate, that hope, that desire, that belief, that trust, it can spread to the rest of the team. Wow, that's a really impressive team on a starting line. A team full of hope. Because if you have hope, and it doesn't have to be a lot, any amount of hope is enough. Remember that. So, anyway, that's where this episode came from. I think I can talk about the Olympics next week. I think it was just to piggyback off the last two episodes, given the reaction that they got from all of you. I think it's important to kind of go through those ingredients. There are more ingredients. There are more. There are so many more. But this was the next one I really wanted to talk about with you, because I do think it's something that, yes, is an essential ingredient, but it's also something that you can remind yourself that you have. Because I'll end with this. If you find yourself on a starting line, if you find yourself on a run, you have hope. We run because we hope we end as better versions of ourselves in some way by the end of the run. We hope that the run has changed us for the better. We hope that we learn something about ourselves, that we've earned some wisdom as a result of doing this run. We have so much hope on a run, during a run. We have so much hope with us all the time as runners. Embrace that about yourself. Embrace that about your sport, and bring it into the rest of your day, because it's one of the best parts about running. It's one of the best parts about being a runner. We're hopeful. And I hope you enjoyed this episode 64, Hope. So, until next time, which is next week, let me just tell you, thank you as always for listening. Thank you as always for sharing. Thank you as always for subscribing and rating and reviewing the episode and the podcast. It means a lot, and I appreciate it. And until our next episode together, make sure you're taking care of yourself and take care of each other. I'll meet you on that next starting line. Thank you so much for listening to Coach Bennett's podcast today. And if you're not already following or subscribed to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening, well, I really wish you would, because it helps a lot. Also, check out the show notes, because you'll find a link to Coach Bennett's newsletter, as well as all the social media sites that I'm on. Places like Threads and Facebook and Instagram and Mastodon and YouTube, and even the artist formerly known as Twitter. Whatever that dumpster fire is called today, you'll find a link to it, because I'm on there. Thank you so much again for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself.